15 years ago, we started Transition Garden. It's a way to use a garden to build community, to build additional strength of local control over what's going on in the outside world. Communities working more closely together, working on food production, which is important, of course, to everyone, and a way to really build that community empowerment.
Garden grows through the seasons that flow. Our garden grows, our garden grows.
We have lots of life here at Transition Garden. There's Padma, our cat, who keeps an eye on everything. There's Cassie, who freely parcels out the joy of a friendly dog to anyone who notices her. Those are our obvious pals. And then there's the not so obvious pals, our bees and other important insects who pollinate our garden. Our neighbors' horses, whose manure enriches our soil year after year. Very important. It's quite a list, but the list of pests is even longer. This show is about some common pests and what to do about them here in Transition Garden. Now let's get to work. This morning in Transition Garden, we're going to get wired. So we got all these wires here, and it's a fence all the way around the part of the garden that we know the deer are going to love. So in order to keep the deer out, we've got two wires at different heights. There's a low wire just above knee height, and that keeps the deer from just walking through. It's the first wire it's going to hit, usually with its nose. That'll wake it up really fast. And then we've got a second wire that's up more at head height. And that's just to prevent it from trying to jump over the whole thing. So the way this electric fence works, you gotta, of course, complete the circuit. So we've got some metal stakes pounded into the ground, some aluminum, copper pipes pounded into the ground. That's the grounding part of the circuit. Then the wire is the electrified part of the circuit. So in order to complete the loop, something has to touch the wire, and the electricity actually passes through your body into the ground to those metal pipes. That happens with an animal, and it happens with a two-legged animal as well. I'm going to be the guinea pig. I'm going to turn this on. All right, so I'm going to see if this wire's working. See if it's got juice going through it, and ooh, yeah, you kind of have to keep touching. Wow, yeah. Woo! So let's talk a bit about organic pest control. That's the heart of an organic garden. We talked about organic soils, really an important part, and it's that soil health that provides the healthiest plants most able to defend against pests. That's step one. Good soil, healthy plants, better pest control that way. So my motto is, something wants everything. Now, why organic? It's becoming more and more recognized that, of course, it's more healthy for you. When you get into large agricultural practices, because of the scale, because they can't get in close and really do these other types of techniques, they're forced to use pesticides. Most pesticides are nerve toxins designed to knock out the nervous system of an insect of some kind. Well, that goes out into the environment. It affects the nerve systems of a lot of other things. It can affect people as well. There's always some background level of residue, pesticide residue on non-organic food. Just a question of what kind, how much,
what type of vegetable, some more, some less. But technically it's usually always there, and even at a very low level if you measure it. Now, I've always been an organic farmer. I just have always felt that way, that organic is important because I'm going to eat these vegetables, my friends are going to eat the vegetables, neighbors are going to eat the vegetables, and I want to know they're the best for you, they're going to be the healthiest, give you the most nutrition. So organic is important for those reasons. So what we've got here is an example of slugs coming in and munching on plants, particularly the early germinating plants, which they love, nice and tender, low to the ground, easy to get at, beautiful stuff for a slug. Now with slugs, first thing you should know is they don't have very good eyesight. So they find a plant and they know how to come back because they follow their slime trail. So the simplest and easiest thing you do is you mess up their trail and they got to start all over again. So all you got to do is rough up the soil around the plants and it's going to slow them down. They got to start all over. They have to get their bearings, figure out where everything is or everything was. Another way, if you really got a bad case of slugs, you want to slow them down even more. There's two tricks that we use in the garden. One of them is eggshells, crushed up eggshells, and that's going to slow them down. If we really want to get into the heavy ammunition, let's say that we've got really bad slug problem, we've got a larger area that we're trying to protect, what I really like to use is copper mesh. And you put this around the area of the garden you're trying to protect. Just lay this down all the way around the area. It could be a big area, could be a smaller area. And what I like to do is kind of work part of it into the soil so they can't crawl under it, and literally building a fence of copper. They're living close by. They might be in these rocks down here. Somewhere around here close by is where they go during the day to get out of the sun and the heat, and then they come out at night. So we build a copper wall like this. That's kind of our third line of defense for slugs.
So I'm back at my straw bale gardens now. They're doing fantastic, and what I'm going to do today is treat my tomato plants with an organic tea that I make that helps keep the blight from getting to the plants. So what I like to do with my tomato plants is treat them with this organic tea, and this here is a plant called horsetail. It grows readily pretty much in the ditch or sometimes along the beaches, any kind of wet areas it's usually in. And what you want to do is I take about this much and I'll boil it in a big pot of water, make a really big batch of tea. It'll stay good in the fridge for up to a week. And then what I do is I dilute it 50-50 with water, and I add a teaspoon of baking soda and a little tiny bit of cast iron soap just to help it stick to the plant. And what's in this that's helpful is a substance called silica, and it helps the plant become more resilient to blight, which is a soil-borne disease. It can also be carried through the air. There's different varieties of blight, but early blight is one that's a soil-borne disease that most plants in Nova Scotia are going to end up with. It's just something you need to sort of manage. And so I just mix it up in a little spray bottle. I call it Blight Buster, and I just once a week give a little spray over all my plants, and I try to do the undersides as well.
I like it hot in the summer and hot in the spring. I never wanted to get cold.
And so that should be it for about another week.
You fool me into thinking that I could be singing when the weather's not like that at all.
Now, cucumbers, we find out deer really like the plants.
You can see we've got netting. We built a fence around the cucumbers and we've got some netting. This thin black netting that you can buy at hardware stores. That's going to keep the deer away, the four-legged pests. Then also we got cucumber beetles coming in there. You can see some of the leaves have some brown spots, white kind of dead areas on some of the leaves. That's cucumber beetle damage. So we control those with a spray that we make out of chrysanthemum. So the leaves of chrysanthemum contain a compound called pyrethrin, which is a toxin for beetles. So we can take leaves of chrysanthemum, blend them up, put them in a sprayer, and spray the cucumber leaves to keep the beetles off. You can also buy that type of a product at a garden store. Pyrethrin is a natural compound that is toxic to cucumber beetles. So that's an organic method that we use for control of cucumber beetles. We've got fencing to control the deer. Now you're going to find in the greenhouse we plant marigolds, different locations. These are for organic pest control. Also help to keep the bugs away. Sometimes we even blend up the leaves in a blender, put it through a strainer and use it to spray it on the plants. Works very well. So today's manure day. It's really nice to have neighbors with a lot of horses. Generates an enormous amount of manure, and the generosity of neighbors when we share resources, we share tools, knowledge, that's part of community, part of good gardening in your neighborhood. Transition Garden, we're really lucky. They fill the trailer for us. We bring over quite a few tons of manure every year. Oh no, look at this. We got a ton of manure in the trailer, but we got a flat tire and it's getting ready to start raining. And you know what? We've got a small air pump, plugs into the cigarette lighter in the car. Oh, this is turning into a big job. It's getting ready to rain. The pump's not working. Tire's got to come off. Gonna need some help. Well, good thing Mark's showing up. He's bringing a heavy-duty jack with a ton of manure. We're gonna need something heavy to lift this thing, get this tire off. So we're gonna get her set up here, get this jack underneath, get that tire up in the air so we can take her off. I'm glad Mark's helping out. And of course, every problem like this, it seems to never quite end. Having trouble getting one of the lug nuts off. Good old Mark, he's got a long bar we can put on the end and really wrench her off. Get that bloody tire off so we can get it to the shop, get it fixed. You just get that tire off, get it into the shop. It's just part of gardening. Stuff like this happens all the time. It's okay, you just deal with it and move on. Oh, she's a fresh load, full of manure flies, gonna be heating up. This is a really shitty job, but somebody's gotta do it. Ooh, look at the steam coming out, the bacteria already working, and the bouquet. I mean, I don't want to put this in a bottle and sell it or anything, but the bouquet is pungent. Wonderful, actually, for a gardener. And I imagine just every self-respecting dog in the world would love to roll in this stuff. Now, horses are beautiful, absolutely gorgeous creatures. For a gardener, you look at a horse and you think, wow, it's a hay burner, because this is what you're looking for. Transition garden, we've probably brought over, from the beginning to this year, about 120 tons of manure like this. That community cohesion and bonding with neighbors and helping each other out. Cooperative spirit. All of those horses, I get the manure. I help them out with tools, with the seeder. A lot of back and forth. We grow plants for them. It's been a great relationship. We're back in the kitchen and we're gonna make pickles. This is a beautiful first harvest. We just washed all these cucumbers. Plus, we brought in a lot of other good stuff. Of course, you gotta have fresh dill. And in particular, I like to use the flower heads. Nice, good, strong flavor. A little bit of the leaves in there as well, but we're mostly gonna use the flower heads. Got to make sure you have enough dill through the whole cucumber season, so we even do successional plantings of dill. Then, of course, we got our garlic. Garlic dills. Got to have that in there as well. Then what I'm going to do, we're going to put in a medley of other things. We've got some onions, fresh onions, a small red one, a yellow onion. We've got the very first picking of some cherry tomatoes. Throw those in there for a little bit of color. And then finally, we're going to throw in a brand new chili. Spice it up a little bit. We're going to mix this all together. We're going to put it in a good sized pickle jar. Going to pack it all in just as tight as we can. And then we're going to add a brine. These are refrigerator pickles. And we're going to let them sit in the refrigerator for at least a week. Then we've got good eating. Nice big jar I like. Holds a lot. We're going to make it look pretty at the same time. So we're going to pack everything in there, tight as we can. Then we're going to add the brine. So with the brine, I use just regular white vinegar. I use either pickling salt or kosher salt. Either one will do. They don't have any iodine, which helps to keep it crispy so that they're just taste better that way. Then we get some pickling spice as well. I'm just cheating, make it easier. Put in a little bit of pickling spice. So my formula is 2 cups vinegar, 2 cups of water, and 1/4 cup of the salt. So I got 4 cups of liquid, 1/4 cup of salt. So I put the 4 and the 4 together, 1/4 cup, 4 cups liquid. That's my ratio. Works beautifully. Keeps actually for a long time in the refrigerator, almost a year.
garden grows, garden grows, garden grows. And I know you love me.